Hello, my friends. Just want to kind of give a little bit of an update on the things which God has shown me of the world over these last couple of weeks. And it's been something that I've known a lot about even from 3 years ago. I began to see the symptoms of the world were just like the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease, except only on a grand scale. And there was a Nancy Pelosi article that was written where she is saying that Donald Trump is the most fearful politician that the country has ever had. Um, Everyone should be afraid of him. There's never been anybody worse than him. We see the pandemic with this coronavirus. We see the locusts. We see the wars and the rumors of wars and all of these things, which throw the inhabitants of the world into a rage of fear. And I've talked a lot about fear and why. So, this is what I wrote as a response to this article. I wrote, "This is what a godless country looks like. Those who are godless have no eternal security. Because of this, they fear everything in the world which takes away power from them. Thus, the fear of the terrifying things at the end of the age spoken by Jesus are being fulfilled every single day. From the virus to politicians' policies, everything which takes away power from those of the world who deem themselves powerful throw the superior into a state of irrational fear. Just like dementia, this generation of the godless has become." And truly, my friends, it all comes down to authorities. Nancy Pelosi is one who, if the people get more power back, she has less authority over them. She wants a country where the government, namely her and all of those like her, have power over the people. And if the people are given freedom by policy, then they feel like it's a personal attack against them, taking away their authority to rule. So that's why that they all hate Donald Trump. That's why the media hates Donald Trump. That's why everybody right now hates him in the world, because they feel like they're losing their power over the people. It's all about authorities. Jesus spoke of that much. And because the power gets taken away from them, they then become filled with an irrational fear of the things of the world. So every time that power is taken away from somebody who deems themselves to be powerful, they feel like they have lost some of that power. And if the people gain the power back, then they're going to try to do everything possible to send the rest of the people into panic so that they follow them and they keep a hold of as much power as they can. So freedom is on one side of it, authoritarianism is on the other side of it. It's the right and the left. God told you to live free within the boundaries of the nation, within the rules that you put up. That is what happened in America, but then eventually that started to turn around and freedom began to be taken away. As through the 250 years, freedom has been constantly taken away from the beginning. But now you have a society where it's half authoritarian, half freedom, and that's why those like Nancy Pelosi hate those like Donald Trump, because Donald Trump has done more to return power to the people, and they want to make sure that they hold the power over the people. And godless countries and peoples, they have no eternal security. They know nothing what happens to them whenever they die, for instance. They have no eternal security. They're not in Christ. They have no faith in God. They don't know God. They don't even believe in Him, even though their lips will proclaim Him. Because they don't have that eternal security, everything that happens in the world fills them with fear. Especially you see the virus overtaking this. The whole world terrified of it. And right now it's killing 3.7% of the people it infects. That's 1% higher than the ordinary flu. But people now don't care about the flu. They cared about the flu 10 years ago, if you can remember that. Everybody was all up in panic about the flu then. Now the flu is like nothing to us, and we're all worried about this coronavirus. It's an irrational fear of the unseen world, because guess what? You cannot control a virus. Human beings don't have authority over it. We can sustain ourselves and we can quarantine ourselves and we can do many things to try to prevent it. But in the end, a human being still has no authority to remove that virus from itself. It will run its course. People will be infected. Some people will die. Some people will live. But because they do not have authority over this, it throws them into panic, just like global warming. The earth naturally goes through cycles of warming and cooling. Just like God said, for every season there is a season of change. In the spring, the summer, the fall, and the winter, God set up earth like this as well, so that the earth goes through seasons. The earth naturally changes climate over time. But because they don't have authority over that, they try to take the authority by launching all these chemicals into the atmosphere and talking about how we need to be conscious of what we're doing to the earth and all of these lies, because they feel the authority is taken away from them when God is in control. They don't want God to be in control. So I make a comment as well that it's just like dementia, just like in an Alzheimer's patient. Whenever you have an irrational fear of the things around you, that's what this generation has, because they are unwilling to lift their authority and give it to God. Because they want the authority themselves, everything becomes an irrational fear. And I see the daily Bible verse today. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. I know that the Lord is with me wherever I go. I do not have fear of these things that you see blasting on your television set. However, many in this generation, even those who have faith, Satan will continue to try to take that away from you by throwing fear at you, so that you do fear these politicians and you do fear this virus, because it gives Satan power to know that you are not free. You have to be free in your mind, my friends, and the only way you can do that is in Christ. We see Joe Biden, who has been just one gaffe after the next. I mean, he literally looks like a senile, borderline dementia 78-year-old man right now. Because the world is thrown into this dementia, look who they vote for. They vote for Joe Biden, who probably has a form of dementia. You can literally tell whenever he speaks just like a dementia patient at the very beginning of their symptoms. And the world votes for him because they see him and they're just like him and they want to be just like that, which is why they cast the vote for them. Truly, anyone who even went yesterday to cast votes in America on the Super Tuesday, they're already lost. There is no coming back from them unless God does it himself. They're already lost if they're voting on any Democrats by this point of time, for everything God has shown the world of the Democrats. There is no way that any man should be ignorant to what they are doing. Truly, if anyone voted for them yesterday, they are not in God. Because people in God, they see everything that they're doing and they understand that that's truly Satan that holds power over them. So because the world has dementia, it's going to vote for someone who has dementia, which is why we see Joe Biden storming and winning yesterday in Super Tuesday. I will have more on these things later, but just to give you a sort of an insight to what God has shown me, that the whole world, the country of America, godless country, because they do not have eternal security, and therefore they become like an Alzheimer's patient and even vote to put one in power over them because they feel better if somebody who has dementia would be over them than somebody who rules rightly, like Donald Trump, be over them. They don't want to be free. They want to be ruled by Satan. God bless.